Hi, my name is Belinda Doveston. I'm the Head of Research and Development for Sirdar Group Global, and I'm also the co-founder of the Contribution Compass. Now, you well know that the Contribution Compass is a critical part of Sirdar Group's high-performance board methodology. We put boards together based on your natural energy, the balance around the boardroom table, and it is a critical part of driving powerful and engaged relationships around the boardroom table. So for your board, what does this mean? Well, now that you all know what your profiles are sitting around the table, there's a couple of key things that I'd like to challenge you to do. Remembering that being a high-performance director requires that we are exceptionally critical of our own performance, that we are consciously aware of how we engage with others, and that we work together to get the best out of everyone around the boardroom table. Now, the Contribution Compass is designed exactly for that. Whether you are a management team, an operational team, or a board, working together requires new skills and requires us to step outside our comfort zone. One of the things that you can do is understand yourself through your profile. This means understanding both what is your path to greatest contribution. What is the one thing that you are better at than anybody else? Not that it's a competition, but what are you better at? What is your talent? What is the one thing that you do really well? Perhaps as a catalyst director, that is all about generating new ideas, driving the board, creating innovation. Perhaps if you're a custodian director, it's about honoring the promise and making sure that we deliver sustainable growth. So the first thing is get to know yourself. Understand your own profile. Don't assume that you just read the first page, that you understand what that means. Work with it, internalize it, and develop a deeper understanding of what your profile means to you. The second part is understand the profiles of the directors sitting around your boardroom table. Observe the questions they ask. What are the drivers of their engagement? What are their concerns? What are the things they keep on harping on? There's a good chance those issues are things connected to their particular Contribution Compass profile. Why don't you start to learn to develop an ability to give them things and information in a way that makes sense to them, in a natural energy that allows them to be their best, as well as you. The third thing I'd like you to think about is thinking about the balance around the boardroom table. If you've come on one of our training programs on this, you will know that understanding the balance around the table is critical to understand how to drive growth. I'll give you two examples. In one board, we had 2 champions, 2 catalysts, and 1 lonely custodian. And in this board, there was quite a lot of conflict. And when we unpacked what this was all about around natural energy, the custodian felt like she was the heavily weighted down basket that had all these hot air balloons trying to drag her off into the sky, and that she was the one that was anchoring everyone to practical reality. The other director said, the custodian director is the one that is always dragging us down, is always putting our ideas down and making us feel like they're not important. And so what this board needed to understand, that some of the issues they were having related to the fact that they didn't appreciate the value of the other person's profile. The custodian was seen as a problem, and the catalysts and champions were seen as a problem. The second example was a board where the directors were all too similar. And in this case, there were 2 executive directors and 2 non-executive directors. Now, what happens when you have a whole lot of people who are too similar, there's this thing called compensation. We tend to go into our opposite to try and balance out a severe imbalance. And in this case, it was exactly that, a severe imbalance, too many of the same thing. And the 2 non-executive directors found themselves going out of their natural energy into their opposite to try and counteract this very high activating energy. The result? The 2 executive directors could not see what the value was because they weren't adding their value as part of their natural energy. And the other thing is that these 2 directors were terribly exhausted at the end of every board meeting. They just were living in a place that was not happy, that was not in their flow. And so as these boards start bringing into balance and putting consciously the right natural energies on the boardroom table, you'll start to see a much more harmonious and effective flow around that boardroom table. I really encourage you to go and then pursue the 3 things. Understand your own profile, understand the profiles around the boardroom table, and seek to learn how to bring balance to your board.